Hello everyone. Welcome to another weekly stream tonight. Moment when you have too much coffee or too much caffeine inside that you start to talk very fast and everything. I think I just reached that goal. If you are a beginner in terms of character rendering, the approach I wanted to show you today will be completely helpful and easy to understand, I believe, because I believe it's like everyone who has like basic Photoshop understanding can use this approach. Block out just in values to make sure that I start to get an idea for general value separation. So I'm looking for materials mostly. So I don't think so much about color, I'm only thinking about materials because it's about contrast, it's about readability. But in general, I would say the values should work. And what I like to do before I go into a big rendering, I do a very quick rendering. I basically take that and do a super rough block in just to see how light could work. That's also good if you try that because it shows you things you might not know right now. So you don't know maybe how you want to render that, how far you want to push it. If you want to cell shade it, if you want to render it like really painting it, because there's a difference, right? And for the people who don't know, like cell shading is more of a, I don't want to say simplistic because it has finesse in there, but it's more of a tactile approach, I would say. So let's say you have your line art. The first step is basically making a silhouette, and that's something we already done before when we do the values here, because you need that and you need a clean line art. And you need also a very clean silhouette. When you do the value block in, make sure to block in as clean as possible. And I also would recommend to block in materials on the same layer because it just saves you a little bit more time. So if I have something which is wood, then I would put all the wood on one layer. If I have some sort of cloth, I would put all on the same layer. So for that, I want to show you a render pass. And this is something I didn't invent it, of course. Just want to say that. It's nothing I invented or something. I don't know who was the first person, the caveman of that process, so to speak. Shout out to that person. To start with the multiply layer where I have 30% gradient with a warmer gray from below. Then I use a more darker, even more saturated warm tone for the base shadows. Then I use some sort of blue for rim light or with a color dodge layer because it gives a nice reflective stuff, and it will be, I think, especially nice here on the metal. Then of course I also need a little bit of red subsurface scattering on the face. So for that I use this reddish, and that's the base rendering we're going to use. Now that you see that I have all these things here, these block-ins, right? And these are clipping masks. So if I unclip them, they look a little bit messy here. What I want to do, I maybe afterwards want also to use these as clipping masks. But so there's a simple trick. What I just do, I take my silhouette, press Control-Shift-I, so I invert it, and then just go over all the layers and just delete everything around quickly. I'm back to the state, and now I have everything simple. The other way would be to press Control again to take the silhouette, and it's just another way to do that. Then you can select all your things you want to have inside that silhouette, and be aware that this is also depending on where your line art is. So let's say I wanted to have all that for all the materials. I have a selection, and then I press this little button here for mask. So now everything inside that mask, even though if it's not clipped, will behave that way. So you see, if I move it, it stays inside that. When we do that, we also need to be aware if we want to do any changes on the silhouette, we actually need to also adjust this. Coolio. So we take this tone, then we make a multiply layer. So again, we have the selection here. Then we use the gradient. Am I stupid? Why don't I see my gradient? Ah, I'm stupid. Alright. Good that I do that for living. Never mind. Alright, again. All good times of 3. This is so embarrassing. Alright, there it is. Alright, so now we do the gradient. And we want to make it on 30%. That's just an average, of course. It depends on how dark you want to render that. So this is basically simulating a base top light. So we have some sort of like gradation from light to dark. We just go in and basically gently add a little bit of subsurface scattering everywhere where the blood is flowing. So lips, cheeks, nose. And men, especially because of the beard, they usually tend to have more greens or grays in the face. And now we can basically start with the base shadows. The cool thing now is that we have all the stuff. We can basically make selections. So when you press Control, you are taking the auto select tool, and when you click on something, you basically are jumping from layer to layer. So first is about establishing where light is coming from, and always do that very gently, because it's very easy to go very dark. The more you use a hard round brush in the beginning, the more you need to soften edges. And the more you use a soft round brush in the beginning, you also need to add hard edges. The gradient tool is really cool. A lot of people don't use it, but it really helps because making soft gradations is not that easy actually. And you can control that really nice. Right now I have it on 100, I just do 50. So it does it way less, and then I just do it again. Very subtle. So if you have really trouble painting or something, learning to calculate cast shadows should be one of the first stuff you should learn. It's really important. Importante. But also one big thing I forgot to mention, when you do this process here and when you do the shadow process, so adding the shadow, try not to jump in between values and tones. So just try to stay with one tone and then basically try to work it in with, as we did it before, gradients or a soft round brush or hard round brush, but try to work it gently. Try not to jump around here, like take different tones, because then it can be that you maybe lose yourself a little bit in the whole thing. I love adding white highlights. I don't know what it is, but it's so satisfying. I can't tell. It's like cleaning. Weird analogy. It's like cleaning. What the fuck? No more caffeine for me tonight. It's like cleaning. I'm sorry. I don't know why I need to laugh about it. This is so stupid. Why did I say that? But you know how it is with the internet. Once it's there, it'll always be there. Oh my god. So oh man. sorry guys, sorry. Wait, I cannot pay because it's so stupid. Oh man, what's going on? I shouldn't drink that iced tea. It's killing me. The iced tea is really hitting different. Please do me a favor, if you're still here, like the video and share it with one person maybe, if you think the person could find this useful. I hope you liked character rendering or everything we spoke about the process. And if there is off-schedule stream, I also announce it on my Instagram. So just make sure to check out my Instagram story. Thanks everyone for joining. Have a great evening.